What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing because they're counting me in, and Mike Ryan says, as they're counting, I can't hear the numbers being counted in because Mike Ryan's last words before the mics came on was, did you know there was a service where you can have a mystery woman, you can pay to have a mystery woman cry at your funeral?
$500. They stay silent the entire time, kind of in the background. An attractive lady from what is advertised, and they'll just cry. Now, this could be really useful for some lonely types, or it could be one hell of a last prank to play on somebody.
Okay, now you're hiring this woman, so it's not like you're hiring her so that people around think that you have a very attractive woman at your funeral. You're alive. You're hiring her. So what is
No.
the
See,
purpose?
The joke that I would play and really mess with somebody is, family, distraught.
Your wife.
I just put,
primarily, the joke is on your wife.
Oh, the other person's wife. The
So
other
maybe it's
person's
like your
wife.
brother-in-law who passed away is your sister's husband, and you're playing a prank on your
Let's
sister.
say I have this relationship with you where you and I have been joshing each other the entire life, right?
Not bad.
Yeah, like
bad.
one last rib. I'm going to have this attractive mystery woman cry at your funeral.
And do you imagine your friend who's watching down, hopefully from heaven, finds it to be funny?
If you've had that kind of relationship.
I have been doing some estate planning because we had a sudden death that didn't have estate planning around it, and it has been quite the mess to try and handle that. And I'm trying to figure out all of the funny jokes to put around the estate planning and the funeral itself.
You got $500?
I don't think that one's as funny as you do. I think it's funny to talk about his content. I think it's a bad prank to play from the beyond because people are going
I'll put
to
you down as a maybe.
be confused by that. But
I'm definitely doing this for yours.
I did think that there would be, clowns and stuff could be funny. Just clowns at a funeral that no one's explaining. Just that somebody sits in the back row
never
dressed,
told you about us.
dressed head to toe
Just
as
got bozo?
as a clown somebody that nobody knows is just sitting in the back row, and you don't know whether that person came to the funeral dressed as a clown as a joke or has a job immediately after the funeral and doesn't want to get changed
In between gigs.
I actually think he came from work.
Does the clown car isn't included? The clown car.
I'm thinking these things out. I have to figure out how it is to
And
do
who's that
these
attractive
things
young woman on his
correctly.
arm?
No, see that's no.
And the balloons.
No, see the mystery woman crying. What is this service? What is the place that you rent a weeping woman to grieve at a funeral? A mystery woman.
Yeah, hang on. Let me put it. I put it in the group chat. All right. It's called Dark Secret. That's the name of the service. And I'm led to believe that it's a gothy woman. And the woman will show up at your funeral, cry in silence, and then vanish.
Basketball is back, Jack. Time for our favorite winter sport. The summertime is over, so let's head down to the court. Time for the tip-off. Give me fast breaks on the attack. Will you shoot a three or take it to the rack? Basketball is back, Jack. It's a dream shake down in the post, or a killer cross you love the most. When the offense tries to run and gun, is it man-to-man or box and one? It's big plays and talking smack. That's how you know that basketball is back, Jack. Let me hear you say basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. 360 dunks and pick and rolls. And we're gonna watch it every day till they raise the Larry O. Hard fouls and hook shots. A dagger three and hack a shack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say the gag. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back.
Boog Sciambi, perhaps the best baseball play-by-play guy going right now, is going to join us in an hour to talk about a cause that's very personal to him and we are helping him with. He had a friend locked in the prison of ALS, and so for the last several years he's raised a lot of money and gotten all of baseball behind his cause, and so the show is going to be helping him today in an assortment of ways. But I don't have any chemistry on air with one of my greatest friends.
Always awkward.
And Zaz has great chemistry with Boog because Zaz's first job was basically Boog's producer, and so I think Zaz should do it, and I should just sit here because I don't have chemistry with.
You'll
Boog.
ruin the chemistry pretty instantly.
I mean, I had him on Zaslow Show 2.0 last week. I kind of already did this. Do you want to just play? Do you want to just play that?
No.
Oh.
But I do want, at the very least, to give him an assortment of catchphrases. What is our goal? To get him to say how many of these Greg Cody catchphrases during a Cubs broadcast? What if, in exchange for our audience, anytime we ask our audience for money, our audience is one of the most special audiences there is anywhere in terms of getting behind causes that matter to us, Ron McGill most notably. When Boog joins us, what's a success? What are we negotiating in exchange for our audience's support? How many of these do we need to get on the air for you guys to feel like it was successful?
Well, I like spending your money, Dan. Yeah. How about for every one of these catchphrases that he decides to deliver, you stake a cash total behind
A
it?
lot of money.
What should the amount of money be to
That
make
you
it
stake
something-
$10,000 per catchphrase. He is your best friend,
I mean,
and it is an important cause.
I mean, you do want to end ALS.
Or
Yeah, you
9,000,
do, right?
Either way.
Okay, 9.
what are the phrases on here most likely to make it on? He respects baseball, but over the years, I've actually been quite delighted to see him go from somebody who was super anxious about over-preparing for stuff to somebody who can just sit in the middle of the chaos, because it's a bit of air traffic control, the number of people talking to you and the things that are happening during a baseball broadcast that is televised. Boog Sciambi has gotten very good at being relaxed. So when Mike says that, I wince because that could cost me $200,000 because he cares about this cause and he's comfortable enough in his career, his profession, how good he is at this, and the safety of his employers that he will get carried away.
New math, 180.
I'm not listening to you guys on this. I'm not going to give this much money to something. Well, you can do it. If any of you will match me, we can do it.
I got 5 for me, I think.
I'm spending all my money on a dark secret.
Think about it.
Which are the phrases here, Zaz, that we have that might be likely to get said on a Cubs broadcast? I think of the Cubs broadcast as being a manicured, sacred place. And so if all of a sudden he's yelling sassafras on a home run call and it's got no context or explanation.
Jeremy just said in the background, this count is fuller than Vern Fuller.
I mean, this is going to be easy money for him.
It's going to come easy to Boog because one thing that I've noticed about Greg Cody's Countdown is a lot of these catchphrases were born while he was calling baseball games that his son was playing in.
I mean, my guess is because it has to be something that he can somewhat fake that as part of the broadcast. So I could probably see him going with, you're going to go to Buffalo with Bernie Parmalee.
That's what I want to make it difficult for him. I want him to work in Georgia. Georgia.
Does he have leeway to change things a little bit? Because bunt works a lot better than punt.
Yeah, he can do that. He can use some,
We will allow it.
creative, poetic
Could
license.
probably also see him going with nice hat asshole.
Where's yours, by the way?
Yeah, where is my hat?
I want during the broadcast, there's just like a promo for some movie and there's a trailer and you just hear trailers for sale.
Where's my clip?
You look like a billiard ball. That stray laugh from the soundproof room outside was Ethan and annoyed me.
It annoyed me last night.
Be easy for
What
him
happened?
to say.
What? I'm sorry, Jeremy. What happened to your guys, Colorado Avalanche? You promised me that they were going to win the title easily, and now all of a sudden Tortorella's got his players taking 40 pucks to the face.
Well, the first thing was Cale Makar did not play, so they lost a lot of
a big one.
firepower from the blue line.
It's a big one.
And they blocked a lot of shots last night. Vegas did. It was good defense.
Yeah, can I walk back my take? Like Vegas with Eichel and Marner and Carlson, they got these defensive forwards that are not going to neutralize Colorado's rush, which, by the way, as Roy mentioned, their rush past that blue line is affected by not having Cale Makar, one of the brilliant offensive-minded blue liners in the league, and really great on the rush. The thing about Colorado is they have McKinnon and Makar. And when you take one of those out, then you have a recipe with them eating pucks and with their aggressive forward checking with very capable two-way forwards. This could be a really interesting series. And the added bonus of it appears their goalie is getting hot and they're playing their best hockey at the right time. And they're villains. They're kind of embracing it. That locker room thing, while it was punitive because they lost a second-round pick, it appears to have galvanized this team.
This is the United States of America. It ain't the United States of Tortorella.
The thing that Mike is talking about there is that they've frozen out the entirety of the media. It's not just a second-round pick that they've lost in violation of league partnership rules. I think it's also a $100,000 fine. And
No, but I think it was 100,000 specifically to Tortorella.
Yeah, which-
that's a lot.
Yeah, you got to think that hurts.
That's very punitive.
And Tortorella probably smiles a menacing grin and delights in the tax deduction of that because he's not supposed to be at the top of the sport again. It's kind of crazy, everything that's happened there with that franchise in general. Just all of it is nuts. You can make the argument that that is the best sports thing that Vegas has ever had. It would be that or Jerry Tarkanian. Like that's the list.
No, it's not close. It's the Vegas Golden Knights. Granted,
Really,
we're not-
UNLV was such a big deal early 90s.
They made it to
You're
the
just
Stanley
brushing it
Cup in
off?
their first year. They made it to the Stanley Cup in their first year of existence.
This story, though, to hire Tortorella, what was it, 7 games, 5 games? Like, how many games before the end of the season did anyone see any of that coming? The idea that they would get a notoriously coaching villain.
And you watch them all season, they can't beat a single good team. They played playoff teams, they would get just trounced.
They weren't that good this year.
No.
They lost more games than they won.
It's an interesting story because, Marner's rewriting his whole narrative in the postseason. Jack Eichel is a brilliant player to
You
watch.
can't walk it back, though. You can't say a couple of days ago, like, who does that?
Mm-hmm.
Where have you ever seen on television someone say, hey, I've got flatly, OKC and Colorado are obviously going to win the championship, and then 2 games get played, and you're like, never mind.
Yeah, no, I regretted it when I said it. I still think Colorado wins this series. Makar coming back will be a huge boost. And look, for all we talk about Vegas, Utah showed that, they aren't unbeatable, and Colorado is certainly more talented.
I'm stunned to hear what you're saying.
I think
right
Colorado
now.
wins this series. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of things working in Vegas's direction that lead to a pretty sizable upset, in my opinion, especially when you take the entire context of the NHL season.
This is the United States of America. It ain't the United States of Tortorella.
The manager gets ejected, and you hear, "Don't go showering. Try to please me."
All right, we'll see what you guys do with Boog when he's here in about
You're not gonna say
30
anything?
minutes. I'm going to try and sit some of it out because I'm not joking when I say it's one of the weirdest things of my professional lifetime. The fact that one of my closest friends in the world, I don't have any on-air chemistry
Does he feel the
with
same
him.
way?
We'll ask him. You should ask him. We're going to rummage around in your relationship because Boog's the one who saw. Boog is the talent scout who first saw something in the billiards ball. Like, he looked at this head that was not
That's
bald.
me.
That was not
That's
bald.
what we're
that's
doing
you.
today.
Yeah.
It was the big dog.
Boog saw. He looked at the number 5 ball, and he said, "I think that should be talking at a microphone." And he helped birth
It's true.
the rising stardom of Zaslow around here and everywhere else. So we will get to that in a little bit. Good. Thank you. I heard him the other day. I actually heard him the other day because I had left the Marlins game from the previous night on, and so I'm driving in. He was calling. They were trying to find him. He was in Northern California at 5 a.m., and they clearly found him late and woke him up, and the big dog was calling in from some part in North Carolina. And I was both delighted and hurting for him because he sounded so groggy at what was 5 o'clock in the morning California time. Just someone couldn't find him, and then they located him. There was a producer talking for a while. I don't know how
Ooh, Hollywood?
I got to hear his take on the whole Inter Miami thing. Oh, yeah.
So we will get to that in a little bit. We've got David Samson today and Jessica as well. But Jeremy has spent the morning accusing me of something, and I haven't really gotten the details of this accusation. He's just simply calling me a Knicks fan. So
That's right.
So well, okay. So what's happening here? And before I get to the details of what's happening here, who are you guys rooting for in basketball? Who you guys are rooting for what to happen in basketball?
Spurs. I'm good with the Spurs.
Spurs,
winning.
Knicks.
Spurs and not the Knicks. Because I'm
dude.
from here.
Get the Cavs out of here.
F the Knicks.
Don't if you want the Knicks to have the most pain. I want the Knicks to get to the final and
Right.
then lose to the Spurs.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Yep.
I mean, that's fine, but I'm certainly not rooting for them the way Dan Le Batard is, that Jersey guy over there.
So the problem with what you guys are rooting for is the Knicks and the Spurs, the matchup, that the way that one works. There's no one in the league who's been better bothering Wembanyama than Anunoby. Like, there's no one. Statistically, no one exists. And you saw OKC's resorted to thuggery. They're just Hartenstein is out there not playing basketball.
Yep.
What are you talking about? He's playing tough physical basketball. Guy has a limited offensive game. What he's going in there to do is wreak havoc.
This is the biggest Wemby hater in the world.
How's that a
Purely
Wemby
biased
take?
over
that
here.
has nothing to do with Wemby.
What has nothing to do with Wemby?
Literally
all
nothing to do
he's
with Wemby.
doing is hooking Wemby's arms and grabbing him and trying to tug him to the
I
ground.
have not mentioned the
Ridiculous.
Galactic Dictator's name not one time. All I
the
said
Galactic
was
Dictator.
that Hartenstein went in and did what he's supposed to do. Hook an elbow, throw a chicken wing. Like, that's what you're paid to do, buddy. Grab boards, shoot that little floater, and give somebody an elbow.
It's kind of true. Like, it's the old, hey, you
course.
got 5 fouls, use them. Like, it's kind of true.
Well, maybe they should call one of them.
He also pulled Castle's hair.
That was crazy.
Guys, we got to keep our head on the ball here. Eye on the ball?
Eye on the ball.
Dan's a Knicks fan. Stay focused here. He's trying
It's
to get
true,
us on
he is.
last night's game.
has.
He's trying to push us away.
It's been a 3.5-year bit.
That's right. I have proof.
Keep your head on the ball.
You knew what I meant.
Thank you.
No.
Damn you, Chris.
Maybe Boog will say that.
We had him, and you let him squirm away.
Why did I try to talk?
Speaking.
What is the accusation? I am a Knicks fan because I thought that game, that game one, was a delightful thing if you love sports.
No, because you're a Knicks fan.
You are. You are.
You've been actively professing your Knicks fandom for years. I can go out. I can show you. Do you want me to physically show you how you're a Knicks fan?
Do it.
I have proof.
Don't make me
I have
get the
documents.
supercut of all the moments that were like Larry Johnson's 4-point play. Don't make me do it.
It is shocking that whenever you refer to Larry Johnson's 4-point play, you also don't mention that it was a phantom foul. Like, no one touched him. Everybody knows that.
The thing that I'm mentioning there that most people, I'm guessing, don't have any idea what I'm talking about. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do you know what is being said when someone mentions Larry Johnson's 4-point play? Yes or no? I'm talking about the noise in a building. I'm talking about just specifically the way New York felt connected to that basketball team in a moment when this century, it is the best that New York basketball has felt.
Didn't we say that after they were chanting Bobby Portis's name in the Garden? I get it. It's a great atmosphere. I'm not denying it. You asked the question, what are you rooting for? I didn't have an answer. I want to see this thing play out. I'm rooting for great games, and so far, this is delivered. This part of the NBA playoffs is delivering, and I just want to see this sport be captivating again because Zaz coined this, and it's stuck in my mind ever since he said it back in the Heat days. The NBA playoffs are all about drama. These big moments where it's mano-a-mano, iso ball, mid-range jumper against great defense. These dramatic moments, and because of the way that the sport has gone, you're not getting these game situations that allow for those theatrics, and I just want to see those moments.
And we've had them so far through 3 conference final games we've gotten moments.
This has been so exciting, but I'm not going to forget what happened last year when Halliburton had us, just jumping out of our skin.
I did feel watching last night, and I turned to my son late in the game and go, this series is going to be a war, but last night I thought was a really good sign for the Knicks. Because you see, because of the way the Thunder and the Spurs are playing, Jalen Williams is already hurt now. Dylan Harper is already hurt now. If that series goes 7 games, what kind of physical condition is the winner in? And that's why a team like the Knicks, or the Cavs for that matter, does actually have a shot.
Okay, but this is a bit of a distortion, okay, what you've seen the first 2 games in terms of how it is you do the measurements. The Spurs don't have a point guard, so Castle keeps turning the ball over. It's how OKC wins. Last night's game was won by OKC. Castle's got 20 turnovers in 2 games because they're not playing with a point guard. Good luck with that against that team over an extended period of time. But when he comes back, you've got a different series there because they need someone who handles the ball. What are you shaking your head at me for, Tony?
I'm just thinking, do you? Is it a different series when Fox comes back? He hasn't been healthy enough to play, so now he's going to be out there and playing against guys that are piranhas?
This is unprecedented turnover territory we're in because you got a young guy who shouldn't be handling the basketball that much, turning it over 20 times against a team that feeds off that. The reason OKC wins is defense, turnovers, fast break. That's why, you can talk about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander all you want, but what they do on defense is the thing that's special, and it starts everything else.
Guys, we are not keeping our head on the ball right now.
I know. Right. Imagine, if you will, sad day. We put Greg Cody in the dirt, and we turn to our right, and there's this tatted up goth girl just weeping, and then she disappears.
Nice. Baby.
We should have some fun with that particular funeral. I think he would want that. I still want to get the game involved that rewards a listener for coming up with the correct thing we're putting on the tombstone.
Crowded tombstone.
There are a lot of
put
things.
A lot on
yeah,
there is.
Presented by Brad Williams' podcast.
Let's go out to Jeremy.
A night in Babel.
Let's go out to Jeremy in the other room and find out what it is that he's accusing me of. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Dan, there is a 5-pronged approach
of course,
against you.
You do nothing efficiently.
1, Dan Le Batard himself has said he's fed up with the Miami Heat organization, trying to distance himself from the fact that he used to be a Miami Heat mouthpiece, now propping up the opinions that are anti-Miami Heat for several years now out of the shipping container and out of his own mouth. Point number 2, he was looking for more New York Knicks correspondence going back several seasons. The first time he evoked the Larry Johnson game while his own co-host that was sitting next to him was a self-proclaimed Knicks fan. No, we needed to have more New York Knicks. Point number 3. As the George Soros of sports journalism, he has funded a now Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist. Where's he from? He's from New York, Dan. Pablo Torre, who refuses, by the way, as a guy who went after Kawhi Leonard in aspiration, he refuses to go after Jalen Brunson. Chris, play the clip.
I would like to say to Jalen Brunson, to Rick Brunson, to John Macri, to Joe Budden, to the guy I will encounter on the sidewalk today, I am not looking in to Jalen Brunson.
Point number 4. One of the biggest Knicks fans in the world, Ben Stiller. You know what it says here, Dan? It says, Dan, I know you're Knicks fan. It should have said you're a Knicks fan, but it said, I know you're Knicks fan. Why does he know that, Dan? Because he's a Knicks fan. It takes one to know one, as they say. And number 5, and this is the real smoking gun. What is the first thing that Dan Le Batard thought to do as he delayed his own production crew by 45 minutes to do a show in the studio you're presently sitting in? He went on Sam Morrill's podcast, grinning like a fool, praising the way in which he loves the Knicks, how happy he was for the Knicks to win, the joy that he felt watching this team, and oh, the beloved Garden. Chris, play the clip.
Yeah, I know you're not a Knicks fan, but you gotta at least have enjoyed that a little bit last night.
I was legitimately happy.
Case closed.
Wow.
Wait a minute. I said I was happy for him.
No evidence of that.
Wow.
Wait, that's creatively Wait
That's
a minute.
incredible, Jeremy. Great work.
Mule eating briars.
That's Dan's body.
You just heard Sam say, I know you're not a Knicks fan. That seems to go
He's trying to help you out there. Is what
Seems
he's doing.
sarcastic.
Then you rebutted it with, I'm happy.
Can I hear that again?
I know you're a Knicks fan.
Yeah, I know you're not a Knicks fan, but you gotta at least have enjoyed that a little bit last night.
I was legitimately happy.
You can't, on one end, hold up Sam knowing you're not one and ignore that Ben Stiller knows you're one.
You are a Knicks fan.
You're Knicks fans.
Dan, I knew you are a Knicks fan.
They are the best story remaining.
Says the Knicks fan.
Yep.
I think it's Wembanyama versus OKC. Yeah. Pretty
It's a guy
obviously.
taking over the league, becoming the next LeBron.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Bigger story, Wembanyama winning the championship or New York winning the championship at Le Batard Show?
For the same reason that I was telling Greg Cody, I believe that he's wrong about the Knicks being the best thing that could happen to the league, them winning the championship. Totally off base.
You see?
Every year, us being able to point at the Knicks, are they going to do it this year? And they continue to not do it is the best story.
Don't let this guy slide off the hook again. Keep your head on the ball.
Keep your head.
Keep your head on the ball. He just changed the poll question thinking we wouldn't notice. What's the biggest story? New York winning the championship or Wemby winning the championship? That's fine. That's a discussion for another day. It's not the one that we're having right now. Yeah. The bigger story right now is Wemby taking on this OKC budding dynasty. And I'm sure the ratings will reflect that. Championship? Yeah, I'm with you. New York finally winning an NBA title the same year they win an IST potentially. Can you imagine?
I mean, they're going to repeat against the Spurs if they do that. But, Dan, the first thing you went to go do was celebrate on this Knicks podcast with Sam Morril, of which, by the way, at the end I heard him say to you that he's going to go get a bunch of other Knicks fans, but he wanted to start with you. Ridiculous. Ridiculum, as some would say.
The Little League theory.
Hey, Butterfinger.
Inexplicably, just...
Well, I think he can get the Little League theory in there because he can just be talking about Little League. There are a number of other ones here that are harder to get in.
Well, hey, Butterfinger, you can do it for the error.
Well, they had 3 of them in the first 3 innings yesterday. So,
Tony, yesterday I was waiting for the bathroom, and Dan was ahead of me, and the door was closed.
You farted?
No, I heard it. I did hear a wayward, yeah!
Dan, did you throw a yer?
No. He's making that up, and I
All right, you got me there. I made that part up. But everything else Jeremy said was true.
I want to not get out of the show today without a couple of things being discussed around here. One of them being what it is that happened across the street here yesterday at the Freedom Tower. Another thing, related actually. Stephen Colbert leaving the air tonight.
That's
because
tonight?
it's the last show is tonight, and I want to talk about that as well. But before we get out of the local hour, I want to talk about what Bobby Marks is saying about Giannis Antetokounmpo. Bill Simmons and Zach Lowe have been talking to people in the league and saying they're surprised how lukewarm the interest is in Giannis. Zach Lowe is saying that Miami remains suitor number 1, and Miami is also the large betting favorite if you're someone who bets on these things to land Giannis. And I just think Boston has more to offer, and Boston now has to change its game plan because we've all seen what the structural flaw is in Boston, correct? They won it when the game is changing so much and they're out ahead of the curve. They won it the 1 year it was available to them by playing the style of play that now everyone has caught up to, and losing to the Sixers that way in a Game 7 at home after you already lost to the Knicks that were built to beat you, because on the nights your threes don't work, you're a disaster and people hate watch you, including your own fans, because going 9 for 53 from 3 is just really unpleasant to watch. Boston has more assets and more ability to get him, and then becomes more formidable than Miami if you team Giannis with someone who's better than Bam.
Sure, but isn't it a conceit top to bottom, starting with Brad Stevens on to Joe Mazzulla onto the entire roster? If you trade for Giannis and do the complete reprint of the blueprint, where you're taking all these guys and sending them somewhere else, it's a conceit that the whole thing is a farce and it's done, right? Because you're adding in Giannis, you're going to have to send shooters, you're going to have to send Jaylen Brown. Like, what are you going to do with Joe Mazzulla, who coaches a certain style?
No, but it is done. Once you lose to Joel Embiid's fractured remains in the first round, and New York's built to beat you, it is done. Like, what I would think, Boston has been ahead of the curve, and Brad Stevens wins Executive of the Year because he's not afraid to change things. He's not afraid to be aggressive. And the things we're presently watching with Jaylen Brown also suggests that he'd like his own team. And are you not assuming that is done? Are Boston fans not Boston fans, let me do this another way, actually, because you mentioned I'm a New York Knicks fan. I have been talking to a number of Knicks fans over the last 3 years who simply don't want LeBron. They fall in love with Hartenstein when he's there. They've fallen in love with Anunoby. They do not want to trade Anunoby. And so when I say, like, one of the things I was talking to Sam about is I'm like, you people have become just totally crazy. The last 3 years, you reject the idea of having LeBron James. What an amazing thing to have happened in the cultural leadership of the New York Knicks, Zaz, that the Knicks all of a sudden are in a place where their fans have fallen so in love with what they presently have that they're like, no thanks, LeBron James.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me. Like, and this is something that means a lot to me as a sports fan also. Sometimes you want to win with your guys. And the Knicks fan, these are their guys. Like, they want to win with this group. It won't, look, winning a championship is obviously the goal, but it means more if you win with your guys as opposed to bringing in a mercenary.
That does mean more to me.
I'm not even surprised. It's obvious.
I felt so seen by him there with that point.
This guy loves OG Anunoby.
You are a Knicks fan.
He's obsessed with him. The Wemby stopper. Oh.
I'm going to be so torn when it's the Knicks going up against Hartenstein. I don't know who I'm going to root for.
You guys still love Hartenstein, by the way.
They love him so much.
You love him.
We love him. I'm sorry. I've got to get my pronouns right. It's a confusing time.
Careful.
Who made it to Charlotte?
That's going to be tough to get on there. I can't wait to hear his vote for what is the toughest one and the easiest one to get into the
toughest
podcast.
one's a fun game to play.
Toughest one has to be asshole, right? He can't say it.
That one's going to be
Are we
tough.
going to read all of them to him?
I think we're going to have my dad. We're going to replay one of my dads reciting all of them.
He's going to be bored.
Foul ball. What do we break? A window?
We're gonna ask him to have a pen or write it on his phone or whatever. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do you still use pens?
I guess, punt would be hard.
Show an opposing fan. Look at that jerk.
I know you can make it bunt, but if he used punt, that would be difficult.
I think the one that we have to have that he has to say on a strikeout is hee-haw 3 Badea. Yeah. Hee-haw 3.
Also, I love after an air. Hey, Butterfinger.
Steve Martin.
No, I'm just saying, that's one
Yeah,
I
you're
think.
saying it again because it's been said.
No,
Guy
I'm saying
slides
that's
head
one
first.
We should highlight that one as well.
You got to eat a peck of dirt before you die.
Highlighted already.
Damn talking again.
We will get to him in 7 minutes or so, but I did want to talk for a second about what it is that happened across the street here yesterday as politics seep into everything. And you're talking about something very personal to me, very personal to Miami. You had in the streets of Miami yesterday something that felt like, right across the street, a community celebration of something that was done just for the symbolic optics and politics of hassling a Castro. So Raul Castro, we could have indicted him on any number of things at any number of times over the last number of years. And the thing that he has been indicted on, because he was charged with murder, for those of you who do not know the story, this one is a uniquely Miami type of thing. Brothers to the rescue if you do not know what that is. Many years ago, Cubans were so desperate, kind of as desperate as they are now, as we choke out their oil supply, and they go 22 hours a day on the island without electricity. So you can imagine, Zaslow, how you would have to live life if at whatever time the electricity comes on for 2 hours, you have to get up at that time and make sure that you handle all of the things that need electricity in those 2 hours.
That's what's happening?
Yes. There are 22 hours a day. The island is both starving and rotting, as it has been in some ways for 67 years. But this is as bad as it's been because they don't have oil, because we are denying them oil. And you have people who have been suffering for a long time who are super resilient. And in our country of great opulence and arrogance, we have the ability to choke out the island, and we also have the ability to rescue the island. But the people in charge now do not care about the people of Cuba. They care about the land of Cuba. And so what happened yesterday was, symbolically, a 94-year-old man is being indicted for something that was shooting American civilians out of the sky 30 years ago, and it's murder. And it's Raul Castro, as defense minister, who made that order. And so you have basically a 94-year-old man who can't really walk being aided by a bunch of 80-year-olds to walk, being indicted, and it's a Castro regime. That name, symbolically, is the one we're taking out, even though he's the former president. And what Brothers to the Rescue was doing, Zaslow, for those of you who do not remember this history and this time, there was a time that in Key West, I'm going to say thousands of people a day, because I think it was 2,000 a day, were landing on the shores of Key West in automobiles that they had turned into boats. They're literally throwing their life to the sea. And what Brothers to the Rescue was doing is flying airplanes over. We overwhelmed the local Coast Guards, flying airplanes between what is considered the greatest graveyard that there is, which is the ocean between Cuba and here, between communism and freedom, is filled with death. And so the planes were flying over, and Raul Castro allegedly ordered an airstrike that killed Americans, 3 Americans, 4 people total, 3 Americans, who were trying to provide humanitarian aid, who were also doing some propaganda where they were flying leaflets over the island, but they were violating international airspace. And so that's what the charge was yesterday. And so the weird scene right next door to us was a celebration in the street of murder charges, and the celebration was such that it was happening before the charges were even announced, because Cubans in Miami have been waiting for this day where a Castro comes to justice, right? I thought Raul Castro, I honestly thought he was already dead. He's not in power anymore. This doesn't meaningfully change anything, but America is going to do there, it would appear, what they did in Venezuela. We want that land. We want the ability to build resorts. Well, not we. Trump wants the ability to build stuff in Cuba, and it's valuable land. It's a tropical paradise if you give it oil.
Yeah, it's the jewel of the Caribbean, and it is an interesting situation because, like you said, Raul Castro's 94 years old. Like, the indictment of murdering Hermanos Arrecate was something that happened 30 years ago that people were really upset about. And like, as the years and the decades have gone by, like, people have kind of forgotten. We have on, I want to say it's on Flagler and 17th Street, kind of close to the ballpark, you have the Brothers to the Rescue Memorial that's over there. Like, this is something that is entrenched in the community, but the next generation doesn't really understand what happened, right? It's civilian guys, Cuban families flying over there and dropping and trying to help people. Heroes, literally heroes that got killed because there was an infiltration of Cuban spies into Brothers to the Rescue, their group. So they knew exactly where they were going to be. They had the coordinated attack. All that happened, and we've kind of forgotten about it. So anytime there is justice for the Cuban people against the Castro regime, people are going to celebrate it, no matter what the underlying theory, the underlying idea is behind whatever political parties in power at the time, to use that as a pawn in their game. Like, this is a win for our people because they tortured and killed and completely dismantled an island for 70 years. And like, you need some sort of retribution on that. And seeing that, again, 80-year-olds walking a 94-year-old out. Like, that's what the regime of Castro and the Cuban government is. It's all these guys from 60 years ago that are still in power. Think about that.
Also, think about the fact that it was happening at the Freedom Tower. It's the first place my father was in the United States. It's the first place they gave him food. They gave him a bag of things to live here. And between us and the Freedom Tower, which we can see from our windows out here, they've given Trump that land to put what is going to be a library for a man who's never read a book and isn't going to actually be a library. And Mike Ryan loves to tell me monthly that my father's going to be a casino greeter there in 5 years.
I should have a library.
Hey, the Hockey Show has live streams throughout the rest of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Please join us as we get to enjoy all the teams that are left here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Dave, are you ready?
I am thrilled. I'm exhilarated. I'm excited. I'm psyched. I'm ready.
What about you, Rosie?
I can't wait to pick my team. Woohoo!
It's the second round. You're
No.
picking a team.
I'm picking a team now.
Ethan,
Bye-bye.
Ethan, what about you?
Always fired up to watch some playoff puck, Roy.
All right, the Hockey Show. We're doing live streams of the Stanley Cup playoffs throughout the end of the playoffs. Please join us.
Back to Chris Cody here, because I'm not sure that I knew this. I have to go back. So you're married to an identical twin.
That's right.
Okay, I have questions.
Go on.
First,
Not too many questions.
well, I know your father's sitting right next to me. It's a little weird. Okay, so first question.
No wonder they're into swinging at that house.
Were you always able to tell them apart?
Not at the beginning when we were just dating. Her sister has like a beauty mark on her face, so I was like, mine's the one without that.
Okay. My next question is, a lot of times, your wife or your girlfriend will be like, you think my sister's attractive, don't you? You clearly think her sister's attractive.
That's right. Undeniable.
If you think your wife's hot, you think her sister is hot.
My sister-in-law's hot.
That's
There, I said
crazy.
it.
Right?
I've never said that to her before.
No, you got to say that, though.
Well, you must think she's hot.
But Zaz, here's the deal. Everyone with a hot sister-in-law thinks their sister-in-law is hot. He's the only one who's allowed to say it out loud. That's the difference.
That's true. That's true.
Not like the rest of us are like, oh, my sister-in-law is terrible. Like, if you got a hot one, you're like, oh, my God, she's hot, but you just can't say it out loud.
Yeah. And are they actually different?
They're very similar in a lot of ways.
So how'd you choose?
The other one was taken.
Papa Cody, wait a second now. You experience this. I mean, do you find one more charming than the other?
At the very beginning, I, too, had difficulty telling them apart.
But do you like, now that you've gotten to know, presumably both of them pretty well, do you think that your boy made the right choice between the two?
I have to say that. I mean, of course he did.
Oh, my goodness.
Of course he did.
Now.
I love my daughter-in-law, but they're eerily alike.
Now.
Not just physical.
What I'm about to admit now is a little embarrassing.
Go on.
There are times, in marriage, you're going through, you're like, it's just, this is
I don't like where this is headed.
I don't either.
I do.
Where sometimes you just like, if you're trying to keep things fresh, you just imagine it's the other person.
Oh, no.
That's an unbelievable admission.
That
What's the matter with you, man?
I didn't hear
Suey. Hey, guys in the room outside, mark that down.
For
Suey
the record,
revelation.
did everybody see as one of society's great empaths? Did you see me try to get in the way? Did you see me try to dive in front of that? He refused. Yeah. He went.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
June 2nd is Lou Gehrig's Day. Go to projectmainstreet.org to help raise funds for those living with ALS. You can get your End ALS shirts as well. Dan, you're wearing your End ALS shirt, right? And look at Boog. Boog, look at that head of hair on you. Look at that. Look at you. How are you, Boogie?
How you guys doing? It's nice to see you this morning.
You got your End ALS shirt behind you there. That's the Cubs. Oh, no, it's the other one. Yeah, there you go. It's tough because it's mirrors. That's a Cubs version of the End ALS shirt. You have for every Major League Baseball team available, right?
Yeah. Yep. All 30, and portion of the proceeds go to Project Main Street to help people living with ALS. You can go to projectmainstreet.org and you can donate, $5, $10, whatever.
Can you? I spoke to you about this recently, obviously, and you've been doing this for Project Main Street for 20+ years now. But can you explain to everyone in the audience who maybe doesn't know how much it's all grown and everyone you got participating in what you have going on and raising funds?
Yeah, I mean, we're just trying to raise awareness. Unfortunately, it's a very underfunded disease. It's a disease, I think, you think back, most people I think half the people probably don't even remember what the Ice Bucket Challenge was for. It was for ALS, and it was started by Pete Frates, who was a BC baseball player, Pete and Pat Quinn, who have both since died. And I basically just wanted to reach out and get the shirts on, and put them on social media. So we got, Paul Skeens and Bobby Witt Jr. and Mike Trout and, all the Cubs and around the league and, Mark Few and Danny Hurley and a ton of guys, and Hall of Fame guys as well. So I had a good one. I sent the shirt to Greg Maddux, and we had everybody take a picture and then say End ALS and then say, "Hi, I'm Greg Maddux. Get your shirt on and wear it on June 2nd, Lou Gehrig Day." And all he sent me was a video that just said End ALS.
I love Boog's background now. I also hang all my old credentials on door handles. I do the same exact thing.
Yeah. Yeah, there.
What would happen if if you got rid of those credentials? Are you afraid that if, that event happens again, they're not going to let you in? What's the deal there?
It's a great question. I don't really know why I have them. I'll go throw them out right now, live on the air, if you want me to.
I would. Yes, please do that. Do that for us. Declutter your house and do you have a favorite?
Let's just declutter, yes.
Do you have one that's your favorite? Do you have something in your house? Do you have a treasured bit of memorabilia that is more treasured than all the others?
I would say my press credential when I went to the Olympics in 2000, I looked really skinny on the picture, so I like that one.
Jacked? No, you weren't skinny. You were jacked. You were no. You were super. You looked like Mike Allstott today.
I don't think I have a real favorite piece of memorabilia. I mean, at this point, look, I have 2 Marlins World Series rings. I guess I got to say that those are the 2 things, right?
Can I tell you, there was one time when I was doing the show with Boog that I was scared because he grabbed me one time.
He's very strong.
He's so strong.
Yeah,
Boog's a big guy, so obviously already strong, but he's so much stronger than you think he is.
Well, I will explain to you when it is I learned it. Me and my brother attacked him from both sides, and he lifted his arms like Chewbacca and threw us across the kitchen, the 2 of us.
You're too strong, Boog.
It's unbelievably strong. It's ridiculous. And his calves, he would beat you over the head with them.
I'm just old now, but thank you.
We have a recommendation for you here. We're trying to see, I don't know what the right amount of money is that I would have to offer you to do this for a Cubs broadcast, but Greg Cody has an assortment of catchphrases, 60 of them, that he is counting down. 60. Yes, it used to be 50, but now it is 60. And so we're just going to play them for you real quick. If you want to write down any of these, you tell me the amount of money I have to give to this cause per usage, because we don't know what's right. We don't want to desecrate your broadcast, but let's just play all of the
You kind of do, though.
Yeah, kind
do a
of,
little.
but for a good cause. So go ahead and
Right.
play them here for Boog, and let's see which of them he thinks he can use.
Number 60, I'm Fuller and Vern Fuller. 59, where's my click? 58, hey, Butterfinger. 57, punt. 56, Scranton. 55, I'm busy near one-arm paper hanger. 54, Georgia. 53, I'm the kind of guy that 52, ball on the jack. 51, hey, with the monkeys, baby. 50, thank you, Billy. 49, I love him like a pet. 48, who made it a salad? 47, we're rolling now, huh? 46, your brain beating me. 45, let's go States. 44, driver comfort is paramount. 43, dummy up, save up. 42, catches, catch can. 41, doesn't make it right. 40, so on and so forth. 39, very good. 38, the Little League theory. 37, nice hat, asshole. 36, the others, they all learn from me. 35, don't go showering to try to please me. 34, look at that jerk. 33, it's like a packing house in here. 32, what'd you learn? 31, hee-haw, 3, ba-dap. 30, I'm not going to take a quiz. 29, sassafras. 28, would we break a window? 27, hello. 26, who won? 25, trailers for sale or rent. 24, you got to eat a peck of dirt before you die. 23, 3 words, we are the Lobos. And now, 22, you're going to go to Buffalo with Bernie Parmalee. And number 21, Rappy Cack.
Your thoughts?
How many of those do you think you can work in?
It went really fast, and in typical there. I mean, I could work a lot of them in. I don't really want to work much of them in. I'd be interested in possibly getting a little sassafras in there.
How much would I have to give you to make it something that tempts you to, push the envelope a little bit? Because you laughed at a couple of them. Would you like to hear the
You're
list?
going to Buffalo with Bernie Parmalee. Like, what am I? I mean,
It's gonna be tough.
That's like taking me.
Save that for the
back
stretch.
to my old talk radio days.
I'll send you the
Yeah,
full list. I'll send you the full list so you can really drink
Send
it
me
in.
the full list.
But let's play it. Let's just play it for him again, and just I want him
Again, play it again.
Yes,
huh?
that's right. I want him. We did it very fast to him, and so
Should I speed it up?
I want him to be able to absorb some of them. Let's just play
But
him.
didn't he get to 20? I thought he only got to 20.
Yeah, well, he's updating it every week, so that's like we're still updating it. So the next 10 weeks he'll do the rest.
You
So
remember
that's-
about those radio teases, Boog?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
this is.
Play it for him again. Go ahead and play it for him again.
Okay, let's play it again.
Number 60, I'm Fuller and Vern Fuller. 59, where's my click? 58, hey, Butterfinger. 57, punt. 56, Scranton. 55, I'm busy near one-arm paper hanger. 54, Georgia. 53, I'm the kind of guy that 52, ball on the jack. 51, hey, with the monkeys, baby. 50, thank you, Billy. 49, I love him like a pet. 48, who made it a salad? 47, we're rolling now, huh? 46, your brain beating me. 45, let's go States. 44, driver comfort is paramount. 43, dummy up, save up. 42, catches, catch can. 41, doesn't make it right. 40, so on and so forth. 39, very good. 38, the Little League theory. 37, nice hat, asshole. 36, the others, they all learn from me. 35, don't go showering to try to please me. 34, look at that jerk. 33, it's like a packing house in here. 32, what'd you learn? 31, hee-haw, 3, ba-dap. 30, I'm not going to take a quiz. 29, sassafras. 28, would we break a window? 27, hello. 26, who won? 25, trailers for sale or rent. 24, you got to eat a peck of dirt before you die. 23, 3 words, we are the Lobos. And now, 22, you're going to go to Buffalo with Bernie Parmalee. And number 21, Rappy Cack.
One more time.
I will not.
I will give $500 for every one of these you use to projectmainstreet.org for any one of these that you use. How many do you think you can get in? Because there are about 20 here that I don't think it's possible for you to get in. I don't think you have enough creativity in you to be able to get some of these in here. It's not his
Wow.
fault. It's not his fault. I don't think anybody could. He's doing a serious thing. He's doing a baseball broadcast.
You don't think he could work in? You're going to Buffalo with Bernie Parmalee?
No, I'm with Dan. He's not talented.
That hurts. I think I could get a decent amount of them in.
Don't make it right.
I'm looking at them right now.
You're the kind of guy that.
Nice hat asshole could be tough.
We're rolling now.
That'd be hard. That'd be hard.
The one we want most, and I might be willing to pay more for this, is you saying
What do you want?
like a parrot out of the side of your mouth. Very good. Very good. Very good.
Very good.
Yeah, please.
Yes. That's the one.
Please.
That's the
King
one.
Haw 3 bidet up, though, for a strikeout.
That one made you happy. You laughed harder at Hee Haw 3, but they up.
Hee Haw 3. Hee Haw 3. I mean, honestly, the best part about Hee Haw 3, and Chris probably doesn't even know this. Like, I remember hearing about Hee Haw 3 when Chris is like 11.
That's right. I came up.
I'm not even kidding you. Were we like, and hearing about Greg umpiring and doing that, and Chris being like, "Dad, stop!"
It'd be weird. It'd be weird if Chris was playing street baseball at 36 with his dad
It was last
umpiring.
week.
All right, can you do this? Is tonight the night that we're doing this, Boog? Like, are we doing it tonight, or when would we be doing this?
Well, so you want very good, and you want very good.
I want.
And you want.
Yeah. We want this
and then
count.
you want Hee Haw 3.
Yes, but
and Sassafras.
Yes, sassafras. But you have some others here. Your brain beating me. You could get $500 pretty easy here and there with a couple of these that wouldn't cost you very much.
This count is fuller than Vern Fuller.
Oh, that'd be so good.
This count is fuller than Vern Fuller is really good.
And we've decided collectively we'll allow you to say bunt instead of punt.
Bunt.
You allow me to say what?
Bunt.
Bunt.
Bunt instead of punt.
Bunt.
Okay. I don't know that Chris Cody knows this story. Don't you secretly hate his father for a printed betrayal?
You do this all the time with everybody around here.
I will pay you
$1,000
for you're going to go to Buffalo with Bernie Parmalee. I will donate $1,000 myself to see how you do that.
Okay. I want to negotiate a little bit. I feel like, $1,000. You're going to go to Buffalo with Bernie Parmalee? I got to figure out a way to get that in.
$1,000. It's a promise.
You're not creative or talented enough.
And then, all right, so very good. Bernie Parmalee, the Parrot, very good. Hee Haw 3. This counts fuller than Vern Fuller.
Hey, Butterfinger.
Guy makes an air. Hey, Butterfinger.
Hey, Butterfinger. Are you doing it tonight though, or are we
He
going
doesn't have a game tonight.
Are we going to do it June?
I don't have a game tonight.
All right,
We're off.
when are we doing it? June 2nd? No, you got too much to do June 2nd. You're doing too much that day.
I got too much to do June 2nd. I could do it in the next probably couple games. I was gonna say Friday, but Apple TV's doing it Friday. So Saturday or Sunday?
Just got to tell our listeners so they know.
Okay.
They got to.
So you want what's so like a weekday is better?
Well, the Skeens game. You guys got Skeens. The
Thursday, May 28th. Skeens against the Cubs.
I am not working that game.
Oh. Sassafras.
Yes.
That's a hell of a gig you got.
Your brain beating me.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Don't you secretly have animosity toward Greg Cody for a betrayal from many years ago?
I don't think
I let it go. I won like $10,000 playing blackjack, and then Cody wrote about it. I was like, and when I talked to him about it, I was like, Greg, why'd you do that? Or at least why wouldn't you check with me? And he was like, oh.
He's like, your brain beating me.
Sorry.
The crew here, unfortunately, has developed out of nowhere a giant interest in the Brewers that just swept your beloved Cubs in a very difficult division. It's an athletic Brewers team.
Oh, there's only one reason. I don't care about the athleticism. I care about throwing gas. Explain this guy to the audience, because we have not spoken about their ace.
Yeah, Mizorowski. It's absurd. He's throwing pitches 102 miles an hour. What's hysterical is that his fastball averages 100 miles an hour, and he gets extension, so the perceived velocity is like 102. He's the hardest throwing starter in the history of the sport, and he's striking out 40% of the guys that he faces. It's a joke how good he is. Yeah.
Perceived velocity kind of feels like temperature. Like, the velocity is what it is. Get out of here with feels like velocity. Not you, Boog. You can stay.
I would say that I would say that if you just like open your brain up for a second, it would be, it's basically
your brain
how hard the guy throws, and then he's releasing it closer.
My bigger beef is with feels like temperature. I got news for you. Whatever it feels like, that's the temperature.
But what he's saying is this guy is also so long that where his release point is closer to the batter than other human beings.
Super long.
That's correct. Yeah, I get you on the feels like thing. I understand. I mean, in Miami, you're not dealing with a lot of feels like temperature, really.
Oh, yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Because when it gets humid, when it gets humid, when I landed the other day and the pilot said it's 95. It's the middle of May. And 95.
That was a hot week, though, to be fair.
It was. It felt like 105, though.
It was like 46 last night at the end of our game.
You guys have to remind me of the day we're doing this so that we can tell the listeners, because what Boog is doing here, he has dedicated a great deal of his care and time over the last several years to making something that is taking over baseball on Lou Gehrig Day, June 2nd. Go to projectmainstreet.org. They are raising money for those living with ALS, and they're cool T-shirts. You can get your own team if you have a favorite team. It's projectmainstreet.org. Make sure to let us know, Boog, the day that we're doing this so that we can make sure that our listeners are there and enjoying. How many of those do you think you can get off if you had to take a guess?
I would say I'm gonna try to get 3 or 4 of them in. 3, 4, 5 in that range. So I would love to get, if I can get, you're going to go to Buffalo with Bernie Parmalee?
He's so good.
I will definitely try to get that in and scare up the cash from you guys.
Amazing. What will the reaction be to that?
Yeah, I can't wait.
So confused.
Yes, it is confusing. Any other good ones on here before we let him go? Anything on here that has a degree of difficulty that we would pay more for?
I think that if in a big spot a Cub pitcher gets a strikeout and I really lean into hee-haw 3, I think that's worth $1,000.
You gotta have a bidet up. That'd be great.
You got to have the bidet up. You got to go
hee-haw 3, little pause, bidet up.
So if it's only hee-haw 3, it's $500.
Correct.
But if he throws in bidet up, it's $1,000.
That's a gack.
Okay. Deal. Do we have a deal, Boog?
Deal.
All
we
right.
do.
There it is. He is the voice of the Chicago Cubs, the voice of Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN Radio. And Zaz had it right. A tremendous head of hair. Just
so good.
Just really good today. Nice seeing you, buddy. I love you.
Love you guys.
The Giannis conversation we were beginning to have got a little bit sidetracked as it was happening. What are you smiling about, Tony?
Good job.
Nah, Boog is funny, man. I like Boog. He makes funny faces too.
He
does.
Makes funny faces.
He was mogging a lot during the
mogging.
Yeah, he was
Looks-maxing.
on screen. He was looks maxing and mogging. He was like kind of raising the eyebrow, doing a little bit of like the people's or not the people's elbow, but the Rock's eyebrow.
You had trouble remember the people.
I'm not a dork, so I don't know
shrimp
the rest
throw
of
But
the
you just
elbow.
said he did a thing with his eyebrow, and like you didn't know that the
keep your
word
head
was
on the
eyebrow.
ball.
Thank you, Chris.
It just seems weird.
Giannis, the idea that this sport not only has broken its main players, but has evolved somewhere beyond Giannis, where trade interest in somebody who, when he first arrived at dominance, we kind of thought that looked like an unprecedented physical human being, that the sport would this quickly evolve beyond his usefulness in a way that Zach Lowe and Bill Simmons are saying that the trade market is lukewarm on damaged goods is crazy to me.
Well, I'll tell you what's also interesting is this is a league that you had to have veterans. Your best players had to be older and experienced. It was not a young person's league. You do not win with young teams. And now it seems like everyone wants young guys. And the Thunder, the Spurs, they're going to be around forever now. They're probably the two best teams. They're super young. And it used to be that is not the formula for winning.
And Giannis is no longer super young guy. I'm going to say it again, though. This player, never available. Like, it's just not something that's usually so that you can change your franchise's fortunes, but there has been damage done here in a number of places, not the least of which is they haven't been good enough with him while trying to build around him in a way that the league has evolved past because he's not one of the good three-point shooters.
It's not surprising that the market is lukewarm. You say that this player is never available. He's literally been made available the last 2 cycles. I think everybody's over this guy.
It seems clear, but what I'm marveling at is, and Zaz, you know basketball enough to know this, a player who caves in every single defense when he has the ball is usually not someone that you can get. He's someone that you either get and keep, or you're stuck without being able to develop someone like that, because in the history of human bodies, there have been very few that function that way. He, before Wembanyama, was popularizing, I can go from the free throw line and just reach over and dunk.
Yeah. The reason teams are going to do it is because or whatever team winds up doing it, if the market is in fact lukewarm, like maybe the offer that the Heat were making at the deadline, they could even pull back a little bit from that.
That can't be accurate. It cannot be accurate that the market for Giannis Antetokounmpo is actually lukewarm.
It's surprising to see what Bobby Marks threw out there in terms of the
because that's
players.
less than what we thought the Heat were offering.
Yeah,
right?
It would be what we thought the minimum offer would be, which was Tyler Hero, Kel'el Ware, Nikola Jovic, and then a haul of picks from there. And
wasn't
basically
even that
everything...
much of a haul. I think he put in like 2 picks there, but
it was 3.
3?
There's 3. It's all the picks that they could trade without maneuvering anything else. I think there is a maneuver they could make to make that 4 picks.
If that's what the Heat would offer, if that's what it would take, Tyler Hero, Kel'el Ware, getting off Nikola Jovic, and whatever draft picks, you have to do that.
Swap at the end, so it's 2 firsts and a swap in 29.
Yeah.
But
one of the first is in 33.
Yeah, who gives a shit? You know, like if that's what they'd be offering, you have to do it if you're Miami.
Well, and you'd still have a lot of flexibility. Yep. Like they still have at the moment Andrew Wiggins on a potential player option,
You'd
and
bring
Norman
back
Powell
Norman
is a free agent. Now you could also take those players and do sign-in trades and ship them for other stars that you could then really start building something around if you don't want those to just be complementary pieces. I'm looking at somebody in LA.
I'm looking at what you guys just put on the screen. That's not going to do it. There's no circumstance under which you're going to get them to take your shitty
Knicks fan.
Jovic,
this asshole.
Jovic contract, and you're not going to get back his brother and and Miles Turner and an assortment of contracts that they don't want.
I mean, like, I hear you, but it's not like Bobby Marks doesn't know what he's talking about. Like,
I'm not with us being like, get out of here, Zach Lowe and Bobby Marks telling us that the market is lukewarm. They have a hell of a better idea than we do.
Yeah, Bobby Marks isn't just throwing up bullshit.
That's not going to do it, though. They're not going to take your bad contracts, and you don't have to take any of their bad contracts.
I don't think you're looking at this the right way.
You're undercutting our package.
Yeah, Knicks fan over here doesn't understand that Tyler Hero is on an expiring deal, and Kel'el Ware is a uber talented young player, and Nikola Jovic is 22 years old. You're not getting him at $30 million a year. You're getting him at, I believe, between 13 and 16 over the course of 4 years as a team, by the way, that would be purposefully now starting a rebuild. That's a guy you're perfectly comfortable taking a risk on.
And we're talking about giving up 3 first-round picks. I'm telling you, the days of trading away 5 first-round picks, Desmond Bain, Rudy Gobert, Mikal Bridges, that's done.
Well,
Like, I
especially
don't
for a
think that's
player at this age.
anymore.
Like at this age.
Can you guys tell me from last night's game how much this is going to escalate if we're 2 games in and we're already at Hartenstein's not playing basketball and Wembanyama's just being like, they're of course going to zealously try to protect their title by any means necessary, on the line or not on the line. And what you have to do when you're talking about game planning for anybody over a 7-game series is you have to physical Wembanyama up. You must do that. And you're going to do it with a team that's not only a defending champion, but a defending champion that plays very difficult defense, and many people think also doesn't mind dabbling in the dirty.
Look, you totally have to play a super physical game once we get to this point in the playoffs. I grew up with Heat Knicks. I mean, I wish last night felt like Heat Knicks, not score-wise, but the style of play. It was a battle every single time they had the ball, and I like that. Game once we get to this point in the playoffs. I grew up with Heat Knicks. I mean, last night felt like Heat Knicks, not score-wise, but the style of play. It was a battle every single time they had the ball, and I like that. Game once we get to this point in the playoffs. I grew up with Heat Knicks. I mean, last night felt like Heat Knicks, not score-wise, but the style of play. It was a battle every single time they had the ball, and I like that. So obviously that had everyone who was in attendance, the media members are now buzzing. Hey, you hear what Shea said on court right after the game ended? And so we're talking probably like 25, 30 minutes later is when the players start to come out to the podium. Of course, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is out there to address the media, and he's asked about that.
Shea, your answer on Hart in the post-game interview on the court was different than the one in here. Can you just kind of explain what was going on there?
I didn't really hear her. And then once I realized what she said, I gave her the right answer. Yeah, at first I heard it wrong what she said.
What could I don't know if he's lying. I don't know, but what could he possibly have thought she said if the answer was I don't know if it helped. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that.
Let's play the original sound again, just so that I can remind everybody this is a human being. Okay, that the league is having some trouble marketing because the way we've done some of this stuff in the past with Michael Jordan and others, you don't have to give us any personality. We'll write the mythology around you. Just be yourself. This person's not easy to sell on sound bites because he doesn't say anything interesting ever. And this team, with him as its face, doesn't quite have a personality outside of its playing style other than they're young guys who are having fun. And when I hear Shea Gilgeous-Alexander talk, I don't hear sales. I don't hear somebody who is marketing himself. He's just being himself. And I did not understand what it is he thinks the question was.
You all made a pivot defensively, Hart on Wemby. What kind of impact did Isaiah have tonight?
I'm not sure if it was good, to be honest. Yeah.
Break that down for me.
Say again?
Break that down for me. Why was his impact not good?
It was all right. It was good. It was good. We wanted to switch it up, give him different looks. Yeah, that's what it's about. When you play against good players, you got to switch it up. Make sure the rhythm's not the same, and we did that tonight.
Appreciate the honesty. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Theories? Any theories? We got any theories? Audience, we got any theories on?
I've been distracted.
Just bored by the interview?
Yeah, I mean, muscle memory type of thing and just looking around.
Well, yes, I would say that anybody who's doing a halftime interview who doesn't want to be there and wants to just shut their brain off entirely can just go into, we're going to be more aggressive or aggressive. Just say aggressive. They all have a handful of cliches that they can go to. Watch in these interviews how often aggressive is the one that gets chosen there, but I don't have a theory on what just happened there.
Could have made $1,000 if he just merely said, very good.
You're going to go to Buffalo with Bernie Parmalee?
I dare you to work that in, Boog Sciambi. I doubt your talent.
$1,000 you were giving. I offered only $500 because I thought he was going to choose 20 of them. He only went 3 or 4, and now I feel cheap, and I feel like I'm not charitable. I feel like I'm pro ALS all of a sudden.
Yeah, I also don't want him to pick a weekend game. We got stuff going on. Let's keep negotiating behind the scenes. That Thursday would have been perfect. Skeens, you have the TV to yourself. Give me a little afternoon matinee. You know,
you love a matinee.
I'm a matinee marauder. You know that about me.
I really, really found funny Tony looking up the other day and saying, of baseball day games, who's that for?
Brother.
Seriously. Everybody's at work. Everybody's doing stuff. I know in Miami, nobody's working. Nobody's doing anything.
The crown is yours.
It's for their well-being because of the travel they have to do.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
but
my well-being.
Yeah, but it's for betting action at a time there is no betting act, no other
1,200
betting
people in the
action.
stands.
I know, but that's not what that's for. Baseball's actually smart to do that because they have the betting audience to themselves during.
It's called Getaway Day, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
That's a little benefit, but it's because of travel.
Uh-huh. And it's also ingrained in the fiber of the sport, and that's all great. Yep.
We've talked about it the first time that it came up, and I'm the one that mentioned, yes, these baseball teams have to land in another city at not 5 o'clock in the morning, and that's the reason there are day games.
Yeah.
But Tony's curious and befuddled. Who's that for? Because you're watching in Tampa. That's right. You're watching 9 people in the stands on a Wednesday at 2 o'clock.
Jeremy's right, which is why you often see 1:35 p.m. NBA games.
So I have Kyle Schwarber over 1.5 bases.
They play every day, guys. It's every day, not every other day.
How many people would be at the 1:35 p.m. Wednesday afternoon NBA game?
If it's a matinee, I'm there. You know that about me.
It would be such a good lane for some of these leagues to take to actually make more day games.
Hey, that's what the European expansion is for.
They're going to have to do some of these evolutions. You saw that the NFL is going to have Wednesday night games at some point. There's not going to be a time where you can't get some sort of action on sports. Like, people are going to move into those spaces because everyone wants and needs the programming. I did want to get back into a conversation, though, that we started the other day. You guys don't actually care, right? That Prime and Peacock and everyone, Netflix, they're not going to do journalism. Like, that's done. The journalism around where this is headed with these partnerships, there's going to be less and less discomfort and less truth between how it is these entities work together. I've told you guys the story, and this is one of the places it can happen, but it can happen anywhere where there's power. When the concussion stuff was being reported by NPR, and football didn't like the concussion stuff being reported and didn't like that one of their league partners, ESPN, had a partnership with NPR to report the concussion stuff. Eventually, John Skipper, the most powerful man in sports or person in sports at the time, realized as that was climbing up to him between his league partnership and the truth, oh, I'm the conflict. And he decided to stop concussion coverage. Got out of the concussion reporting business because ESPN was trying to do journalism where there was business. And there was the intersection where the NFL players could look up and say, "Your brain beating me." Like, right there, the reporting stopped because John Skipper looked up and was like, "Yeah, need the money." You good with that? Like, you good with that just being the new norm?
Breaking news. Starting this Thursday, the 21st, we will be going live on the Le Batard Show, page after Knicks versus Cavs. Talk to Andres.
Listen, we're bringing friends. We're giving you our first early reactions. We're going to be breaking down the game. As soon as the final buzzer ends, we're going to be in the YouTube, so pull up.
Go New York.
No.
Go. Lock in.
Unbelievable admission.
That
What's the matter with you, man?
I didn't hear
Suey. Hey, guys in the room outside, mark that down.
For
Suey
the record,
revelation.
did everybody see as one of society's great empaths? Did you see me try to get in the way? Did you see me try to dive in front of that? He refused. Yeah. He went. He plowed straight ahead.
You guys never struggle, huh?
Your wife clearly does not listen to this show.
Sure doesn't.
You got no worries that this is getting back to her.
Tony, how you feel about that admission?
Not great. Yeah, not great. Even though, admittedly, Chris says that his wife doesn't watch the show, which is good, right?
Very
so he
good.
feels like he can shoot from the hip here and not really be taken to task, like Dave said. Very good. But the issue is sometimes some things are so flammable and so big that they peer through the veil of Chris saying, "Oh no, my wife doesn't watch a show," where she's like, "You said what?"
That was bigger than the show, man.
Bigger than the show.
Let's not clip this if we can.
That was an incredible admission.
It really
Greg,
was.
what did you make of all that?
A little bit unfortunate. I wish he hadn't said that. It could come back to haunt.
You guys never struggle.
Well, in the context of this show, you can always say, I was just kidding. Of course I was just kidding. But will she believe you?
I was.
Okay.
What is the Nick Bobick?
It's a 60s song. The name game. Nick Bobick. Banana Bofick. Me, my Momick. Nick.
Rosanna, Bavana, Vanna, Rosanna, Bavana, Vanna, Rosanna, Bavana, Vanna.
I'm the kind of guy that Nick. Who made it the salad? Hey, Butterfinger. Who made it the salad? Nick, go big. Who made it the salad? Georgia.
That's not correct.
Very good.
It's a parrot that says very good out of the side of its mouth.
That's correct.
What does this have to do with the name game?
I'm not going to take a quiz.
Rosanna, Bavana, Vanna,
Who made it the salad? Me, my Momic. Very good. Let's go States.
Bavana, Vanna.
We're rolling now, huh?
That's not correct.
Doesn't make it right. Don't go showering to try to please me.
Do you like breathing hot neck on the neck of hot?
Wow.
Are you turned on?
Do you like
Dangling.
breathing hot neck?
What's going on here?
Do you like
Sexy.
breathing hot neck?
You have been dry humped many, many times.
Intimate.
You have been dry humped many, many times.
Little pelvic thrust situation.
I like that.
Have you ever consoled a naked man before?
What does it feel like to get dry humped?
I saw pee-pee.
I've never consoled a naked man.
Breathing hot neck.
I've never consoled a naked man.
Many, many times.
I saw pee-pee.
People out there, stop sending me pictures of the hotel rooms with the chair, okay? Stop sending those to me.
I like that. I like that.
He was naked.
Intimate.
Dangling.
I would hold that thing really tight.
How would you do it?
What's going on here?
Do you like
Sexy.
breathing hot neck? Do you like breathing hot neck?
I've been dry humped.
You never know.
I've been dry humped.
Many, many times.
I've never consoled a naked man.
Have you ever consoled a naked man?
I've never consoled a naked man.
Many, many times.
You never know. I like that.
You know what I'm talking about?
Chris Cody and Roy revealed this to me. And Roy, I don't know the context of what it is that you guys were talking about that revealed this about Chris Cody.
Yeah, Chris asked me what the sound from the first down for the Dolphins games were. And I said
it's just a noise I've made throughout my entire life. It's just like one, like I just did it. Hoo-wah!
Yeah.
And to me, that's another Miami Dolphins first down.
Well, let's find out. Let's find out if your dad knows, because he's not a real moviegoer. Instead of impersonating the sound, do you have the actual sound? Greg Cody, do you know who's making this sound?
Hoo-ah! I do.
Clark Gable.
Come on.
It's the famous actor.
Rock Hudson.
Oh, this is great. He doesn't know it.
No, it's the famous actor. And I got to pin his name down because I don't think
you should be able to say this immediately.
I don't think it's Robert De Niro.
No.
But I think it's
in the neighborhood.
In the neighborhood. Give me a second.
Hoo-ah!
Robert De Niro.
Humphrey
Al Pacino.
Hey, there you go.
If someone said that in his headphones, you're fired.
Now,
No,
what movie?
nobody said
What
that.
movie?
It's APAC. What movie?
Streetcar Named Desire.
You ain't you. No, you're not man enough to know the truth. Something like
No.
That's a few
That's
good
the one I
men,
bought.
and that's a few
brutal.
good men.
Good answer. Good answer.
And it's
That
not,
is
you're not
brutal.
man enough to know the truth. I
You can't handle the truth.
Don't know.
That's it's a different
Damn it.
movie. Pacino was not in
You're
it.
not man enough to know the truth.
That was originally a line. Nicholson ad-libbed. They
Put
kept
it on the poll
that
at
was
Le
Nicholson.
Batard Show. Was Pacino in A Few Good Men? Was a blind Pacino?
Okay, who did he say? Who
Dad
said
on a
what?
hot
In
tin
what
roof.
movie?
Let's keep going. Let's see how long it takes you to get.
Play it again.
I think did he win an Oscar? I think
Yes.
he won an Oscar
Yes, he
for
won
this.
Best Actor.
Yes.
Bull Durham.
No.
Good answer. Good answer.
Put it on
Raging
the poll.
Bull. Raging
Put it on
Bull.
the poll.
Raging
No.
It's a bull movie.
Just naming De Niro movies.
Red Bull. I don't know.
Put it on the poll. Was a blind Pacino in Bull Durham?
Chicago Bull.
And put it on the poll as well. Was a blind Pacino in Raging Bull? First of all, it's a really random thing to have stick in a
I
dolphin.
say it all the time.
You get a double dose of Samson today. He will be appearing later in the show on Pitch Clock as we continue around here to segregate baseball. Jeremy and Samson are both very good on baseball. You should listen to Samson.
I'm there too.
On baseball and business. Nothing personal, Chris. Nothing personal.
Thank you.
Jeremy and Samson will be doing Pitch Clock later in the show, and Nothing Personal is the name of Samson's podcast, which I continue to tell you at every turn has an assortment of terrain that he covers that I simply do not see other people covering. We will get to him in just a second. I do want to put in front of you another prediction, though. I made the prediction yesterday that at some point during that Spurs-OKC series, things are going to continue to escalate, and it's going to appear like the Thunder are going to be trying to hurt Wembanyama. Something else that's going to make an appearance at some point during this postseason is the ridiculousness of the Spurs last night. Used their challenges in the first half to keep Wemby out of foul trouble, used them correctly, got them both right, and then lost their challenges. At the end of one of these games, one of these teams isn't going to have a challenge, and they would have been right both times and not late in the game been able to reverse something because the officiating was so bad. That's going to be a thing at some point. We're not going to keep getting away with doing this poorly, where the officiating is poor and your system is also shitty, and it's going to cost someone a game because the Spurs, I think, in the second quarter were out of challenges and they got them both right. Like, what is that, Zaz? That's asinine.
I don't remember. I know what the second challenge was. What was the first challenge?
They got it right.
The reason I asked
it was Wemby's foul. It was Wemby's fouls.
That was the second one,
I think both of them were to keep Wemby out of getting fouls.
No, but my question is because a lot of these coaches, they'll use a challenge in the first quarter. It's like, why? Why are you doing that?
Head on the ball.
That's all.
Samson is with us now here. How did you experience, David? We've talked before about the fact that when you were younger, you would go to Madison Square Garden and you were a heckler. You love this basketball team. You are an actual Knicks fan as opposed to Jeremy accusing me of being a Knicks fan. How did you experience Game 1?
As a foreigner. I wanted to. We were a part of history. Teams were 0-643, down 20 with 7 minutes to go in the playoffs, and all of a sudden it's 1-643. That should have been the highlight of my sporting life. It was Game 1 of the conference finals, and I felt nothing. I was like the chorus line, man. I don't know why that happened, but I've been thinking about it ever since because it bothered me, Dan, terribly. I should have been jumping up and down. I should have been schwitzing. I should have been pacing. And I just wasn't doing any of those things. I was saying they're going to have to start hitting shots. They're laying bricks for 3.5 quarters. They're going to have to make some shots, aren't they? And then they did. And then I was just waiting for Kenny Atkinson to get fired. And I guess I was thinking if I were running the Cavaliers, I may have stormed the court and fired him right then and there on the court at the final buzzer.
I heard Cleveland radio host Tony Rizzo yesterday say that Atkinson should be fired ahead of Game 2 and they should hire Jason Kidd. He should be the coach tonight.
It was an unbelievable coaching malpractice to continue allowing the pick and roll switch to happen. You can coach that to not happen. You don't have to have the switch off where Harden takes it. And they kept running the same play again. It's like in football. I was thinking if you're running the same play every time, eventually the defense is going to catch up to it and change the way they defend it. But the Cavaliers didn't do that, to say nothing of the fact that they did not give Donovan Mitchell the ball in overtime. I continue to say that any team with James Harden in charge is going to be a team that can't get anywhere, but they're in the conference finals. Good on them. But I just thought it was a disaster, which makes tonight's game even more interesting because Game 1 becomes a memory if Cleveland wins tonight, and they went for one game in the first two and they get it. But if they lose tonight, the series is over at 2-0. So it's definitely a big game tonight.
I want to ask you some follow-ups of why you would feel like a foreigner there. I assume it's because real life is happening to you and sports is less important than it used to be to get, perspective about life compared to perspective about sports. But before I ask you that question, Zaz said something today that I don't feel like a lot of people are saying, but a lot of people do actually want, which is Zaz is rooting for James Harden to be historically terrible tonight.
He'll do that. He doesn't even need you, Zaz. He just seems to do that more. He's an unbelievable situation where you have a Hall of Fame player who, to me, he's never won anything, ever. One appearance in the finals with the Oklahoma City Thunder. He puts his way from team to team to team. I don't want to say he's Durant because Durant has a ring, but I just don't view Harden as someone who I'd want to go to battle with my team. And they've tried to embrace him in Cleveland, but again, I just don't think it's going to work. But yeah, I always root for Harden to go, 2 for 18.
And I'm not trying to be like, mean, or I don't even know how you would classify where I'm rooting for a guy to fail.
Hater.
I don't.
Petty.
I don't like the way he plays. I don't like his style of play. I don't like debating officials. I don't like all the flopping. So yeah, I go into tonight hoping he's terrible.
Well, do you have that view of SGA?
Getting there. Getting there. He was awful to watch last night. It's a brutal watch.
I think you should try to remember the 4-year run the Heat had with LeBron, and I was just lucky enough to experience that because I was in Miami at the time, and I was at so many of his games. He also was an unbelievable complainer, and I remember noting that during the 4 years I was watching him up close. He complained every single time. He would flop all the time. So that is what players do. They're trying to draw fouls. Michael Jordan was no saint. I will tell you that. When he got into the paint, he expected the whistle to blow. And any time Darryl Garretson would swallow his whistle or Jake O'Donnell or any of them, he would go crazy.
But he wasn't flopping.
Well, it's just different. It's just not flopping around the ground because who the hell wants to get up every time? There's no reason to flop to the ground when you can just sort of complain to the referees.
Why a foreigner, David?
I just didn't. It's a very bad thing when you want to feel something and you can't. It reminds me, and I was singing the Barry Manilow song, trying to get that feeling again. I was singing that during the comeback. Like, why can't I get that feeling? What do I do to get that feeling back? And then you realize there's nothing you can do. Once you lose that feeling, it just doesn't come back. And that's it. And I had to come to grips with that. And I didn't come to grips with it until game 1, the last 7 minutes of the fourth and all the overtime, when I was just sitting in bed with headphones on and my girlfriend was sleeping and I was silent. And that's unheard of. I should have been like, anyway. It's nothing. Dan.
Explain
I'm
it to
fine.
me. No, but explain it to me. Has it been that way the last 3 years? This is the most relevant stretch of Knicks basketball that there's been.
Since Larry Johnson had that 4-point play.
In 25 years.
The Larry Johnson 4-point play was fun. So
Right.
Here's my answer to you. My answer, Dan, is that being in sports for as long as I was has robbed me of my fandom. So it was heading this direction. And much like COVID just steepened the slope of many things that were going to happen anyway, what's going on with me has just steepened the slope of what was happening anyway. And so it's just been jarring to me how quickly I've bottomed out in terms of my allocation of time and how much time I spend with sports and the visceral attachment I have to the feeling of success and failure around sports. By the way, it's impacted everything, including nothing personal. I used to be obsessive about checking rankings and checking downloads and keeping track of numbers, to the second. And now, for whatever reason, I just take the microphone and keep talking every morning.
That's sad.
Well, the second part feels healthier. The first part not.
But, everything he's saying is talking about a deadening and a numbing. I asked Mike today, how you doing? Everything okay? And he just turns around and he's like, is anyone okay? Is anyone okay right now? And I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, probably not. I think every single person right now is in a stage of disorientation about just world events. If you're paying any attention. He did say that.
I did say
that. He said, except Zaz. He did actually say, he's like, is anyone okay? And he's like, yeah, Zaz is probably okay.
I feel good.
I think the key for us is to remember that everyone has a job during these times, and our job is to entertain, even when there are political overtones to it or serious things that we can talk about. Like, I want to talk about my show I did with a senator the other day and what happened after the show, which is shocking to me. But our job is to entertain and sort of ignore what's going on because we're supposed to be used as an escape. but it's hard when it's something that's unscripted to be the escape because you really have to remove yourself from reality. And it's easy when there's a script. It's much more difficult when there's not.
Dan, did you see Stefon Marberry in game one, what was taking place in overtime?
Just running on the court?
Yeah, so it's a weird thing in general that the Knicks, as opposed to any other team, for whatever reason, former players, they gravitate
Not
toward... How so?
Zaz, stop. Have you watched the Pistons games? Ben Wallace, Richard Hamilton, Isaiah Thomas?
Good point, but they're not jumping on the court. And so after Jalen Brunson is scoring in overtime, this is happening several baskets in a row. Stefon Marberry and John Starks, too, they're on the court while the ball is in play, like they're cheering. They're pointing out defenses. Marberry is on the floor here several times in overtime.
I'm not going to lie, though. The way you're setting this up, I think he's, at half court. And then the video we show, he's, toe is on the court.
Okay, but we can't play the video, so I had to
he
grab
goes
the
further?
best photo. Yes.
So he goes further,
He goes, 2 steps in, all right? Well, David, it was enough that Marberry felt the need to tweet an apology the next day because he was so overzealous. I'll read this to you here. I would like to issue a formal apology. He's at Starbury Marberry if you want to give him a follow on X. I would like to issue a formal apology to every Knicks fan, every security guard, and especially Jalen Brunson, not because I stole his shine, because I could never. That man owned the Garden. I just got swept up in the current like a plastic bag. My energy flew out the roof. I lost my mind, and my feet carried me somewhere they didn't belong. Thank you to the fans for the positive reaction. It felt great, which is honestly concerning. Now, how about we run that back? Just kidding. Unless Jalen hits another one, then all bets are off. Signed, Starbury.
Bunch of emojis at the end there.
What
Zaz,
are those
you
emojis?
know what that was.
Read all those emojis, please, Zaslow.
Okay, we got
People's eyebrow.
People's eyebrow. Spock. We got looks like laughing face emoji. Ooh, a lion. Could be Mufasa. Not sure. Then you have is that a goat?
I think it's a bull.
That's an
A
ox.
bull?
A goat.
I feel ox.
Don't shame me on my emoji knowledge.
Now, you got to know what
I'm
the
not
goat
a
looks
child,
like, Zaz.
All right, I don't use emojis.
Why is there a bull and a wolf there? What's
What?
Lion, bull,
Definitely not a
bull.
goat.
Come on.
Chinese New Year? Let me look that up. He's big over there.
That's true, actually. What were you saying, Samson, about a senator?
Before I get to that, the reason why Marbury had to send that tweet is there's different levels where the alums get seats in the Garden. The first row, there's first row behind the basket. That's where you see often Marbury and LJ is there, and Latrell Sprewell is there, which is unbelievable. And then Patrick Ewing and John Stark. Sometimes they're courtside on the other side, not behind the basket, but at the end of the sideline. And then there's alums like Bill Bradley. He gets put in the stands. Sometimes Allen Houston is in the stands. So there's a hierarchy of where people are, and Marbury does not want to upset Mr. Dolan for fear he'll end up like Mr. Oakley. So he's got to come out there and say, okay, I won't do that again.
That's a really good point. I do find it interesting that you scoffed at Sprewell being one of the guys who can be front row there when I would say Marbury's the guy I would scoff at. Like, he was the face of the most embarrassing times as a New York Knick.
Yeah, I certainly don't appreciate seeing Stefon Marbury. I don't view him as a Knick. I don't think him about it as a Knick. His Knick tenure it might as well not have happened. But there could certainly be, you alluded to China. He is big business. Do not kid yourself.
No, but he's New York. He's the city, though. Come on, that's a place
he's
that
playground basketball for sure.
It's point guards. It's that city prides itself.
High school legend.
I mean, that he comes from there. It's roots. It is a bad time in Knicks basketball. But get to the Senator story. What happened?
So I did a story. We're sort of Nothing Personal is becoming a place where politicians want to come on the show and they want to talk about bills that they're introducing in Washington and have a conversation about it. Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut has sponsored a bill called Let Kids Play. It's an act that is trying to get private equity money out of youth sports. And I was approached saying, hey, he's doing appearances on this. He'd like to do Nothing Personal. And Coca is very clear with all of these handlers of the politicians. It's not going to be some sort of just glad handing where I'm just going to smile and not tell you what I think about it. And so there's great debates that happen during these shows. So we go through the show that just got released on YouTube today or yesterday, and it's a podcast today, whatever it is. It's outside of the regular Nothing Personal. But it got heavy because I so vehemently disagree with this bill, and I asked the senator questions that were real questions like, okay, who's going to pay for it? Is the government? Well, no. Well, then who? If you don't want private equity money and venture capital money. And so I thought it was a reasonable question, and there was a bit of sparring that went on during this, and it occurred to me that Coca and his concern of we're not going to get called again to do these anymore. And my thought was, I don't care, because I don't want to be the one who's the cupcake. And if people want to come on and have a real conversation, I'll do it. And then it occurred to me that those types of real conversations, as you talked about on your show, seem to be disappearing. So I may have gotten Meadowlark Media in trouble. And if I did, Dan, I sincerely apologize.
I don't believe that's sincere. I believe
smiled the whole time saying that.
I believe you. I don't care. I don't think you care whether you got us in trouble. And
don't worry about apologizing to Dan for making it awkward with a guest.
Now, listen, Mike, I actually did think about that. The stakes are much higher with you and your show, quite obviously.
He was born in the dark. You merely adopted it.
So that is the only saving grace as I was going through the show in my head and replaying it where I could have been better, and I watched it again trying to learn how to be a better interviewer and how to have better debate. And what was in my head was, wait a minute, Dan does this all the time, and look at the career he's built over 20 years, and here I am in year 5 or year 6. So I gave myself a little grace because of you, Dan.
That's right. And it's precisely why we don't get guests anymore.
The thing that's funny about that is that philosophically, actually, this one is something that has, I'm going to say, plagued me my entire career, but I really don't actually mind it. The tension between a guest comes on, how do you treat a guest when you're a host? I'm talking about at a house party, I'm talking about on a show. There's a guest coming into your environment. How do you treat that person? I've always found it weird, David, that the guest in this particular setting who's coming into our home has the expectation that I'm there to do something for the guest as opposed to my responsibility being to the audience. It's weird to me that the expectations when you step foot in here are that I'm catering to you versus I'm catering to the audience because I live here and you leave and the audience stays with me. My responsibility is to the audience and making it good. My responsibility is not to the guest. And it's why the guests disappear. Like, it's why we now and have for many years had a great deal of trouble with publicists and managers and everyone else who says, no, why would I put them there if I can just put them in a place where they'll be treated like a guest?
Yeah, Dan, the reason we didn't want players to be with you is for that very reason, that we didn't think they could stand up to you and really hold their own, and that you would put them in uncomfortable positions that would just not be worth it to us. But now that I'm on the other side, I realize that really the issue was our issue, not your issue, because what you taught is it is all about the audience, period. What serves the audience? What keeps them entertained? What helps them give of their time to you, which is the ultimate honor. People give hours of their day to you, Dan, and hours of their day to me. Why? Because they don't want us to just be sitting there not saying the things that they would say if they had the ability to say them. So I think about that. But on the other hand, we answer to sponsors, we answer to rankings, we answer to getting audience acquisition, and maybe there is a middle ground, and I just haven't found it.
Me neither.
That doesn't give me great hope, because you're better at this than I am.
Well, I don't want it, though, and you don't need guests.
And we are.
So, Dan, I think that what we should do, listen, what is our show? I go on Pablo's show, Pablo goes on your show, you come on our shows. It's a very incestuous network-like relationship that's amazing.
Partnership is better than incestuous. Partnership is
easier to sell that.
It's a little better partnership. It's a network partnership. It's not a network incest.
It is a network incest. And what it means, though, is that it creates a wall around us where people become less interested in piercing through that wall because they feel like they don't get the show or they feel like they're not going to be treated a certain way. And then their publicists get concerned about it. I was thinking about the interview you did with Boog, and I was thinking that if I ran the network, what I would think about him working these phrases in and whether or not that crosses the line of professionalism. But when it comes to raising money for ALS, I think Boog will choose you as he should and choose the money as he should. But those are real push and pulls that happen.
The network should choose that too, though, right? Like you think
No.
But you were ahead of the curve on this. Look, David, for those who do not know the history on this, David was, I'm going to say, a decade ahead of the curve with Showtime and the Marlins, where he made a reality show that was so interesting that they immediately had to cancel it. Like, what I'm talking about when I keep lamenting the idea that so many people are interested in the streaming business, in the optics as opposed to the truth, that transaction is corrosive to the viewer, that if your responsibility is to the viewer, the trading of I'm going to trade pieces of the truth in exchange for the access to you makes everything worse, especially the content. And it's not a trade that I think we should be making.
I don't want to make that trade, but on the other hand, we're competing with people who have already made that trade, and they don't think twice about making that trade. So I think about it all the time as we're trying to grow the YouTube channel and get subscribers, and I look at a bunch of absolute dolts, like an intellectual free zone, posting about what outfit they're going to wear with 500,000 subscribers. And I think to myself, whoa. The amount of work that I do to do a show every day that you guys all do with all of the group that you have and Pablo does, and we're successful in our own right, winning awards, but we don't come close to what it is that some rando does by posting something ridiculous because it's the lowest common denominator of absolute intellectually free crap. But on the other hand, wait a minute, everybody's watching that. So I think about that a lot too.
Well, but the way that you're articulating it is the idea that if you fight that fight, you're going to lose to the people who are playing by different rules. But the way that I would argue against that is I would tell you we have, I can make an argument, one of the most loyal audiences in the history of sports. And the reason for that is because that audience appreciates that. Like that audience sticks to you from in there where they're like, nah, this thing's a little truer than the other things, and I think that's going to become more and more important and more rewarded as we go forward. It's happening for Pablo. It's happening right now for Pablo where people are like, nah, this is a little truer and a little more uncomfortable than people realize. But actually, I'm going to tell a story here I have not told, and I'm going to tie it to what we were talking about earlier with Skipper and being the most powerful man in sports when he was the most powerful man in sports, and the way that the conflict came to him and he had to bow for the NFL because the NFL is bigger than everybody. We've run things that are hard to run, and one of the bigger fights I had with Skipper was around one of the things that we ran that went after who's the name? Ishbia, the owner of the Suns, and some of the things that they were doing with predatory loans, allegedly. And we were now going to run up against real power and silver and people who can bankrupt you. Like people who if they come after you, you don't have the wherewithal of ESPN or Disney to fight with them. It's a fight worth fighting, and people appreciate it, David. Like, our audience is loyal the way it's loyal. We may lose to some of those influencers in terms of size and power.
Say Drewski.
But it is, Olivia Rodrigo is my new one, but it is something that is worth fighting for, even if you lose.
Well, the problem is you're going to run out of ammunition way faster than anybody else will. And so you can fight the good fight, and you can fight it for as long as you can. But the problem is you eventually just get swept up in the losing of it. And yeah, loyal audience, that is something you talk about and I think about all the time. Building up loyalty, which is what we get when people give us their time. But part of the game that we have to play is we're looking for new people to engage with us. We're looking to be interesting. Why is it that you want to clip things of you in a bathrobe saying something serious and get aggregated for it? Because you get both that way. You get the humor that you love, you get the attention that you crave, and you get the seriousness that you strive to be. So you try to combine all those, and you're doing it purposefully. And we're competing against people who don't necessarily do the gimmicks because it's all gimmicks. So there's no frame of reference. And that's a very hard battle to fight.
If I'm keeping my head on the ball here, you're saying Dan needs to do get ready with me videos.
Yeah. He needs to tell us what he's having for dinner. I mean, can you imagine how ridiculous that is?
Probably,
I want to see him prepare a meal on YouTube, and I'm going to get 1 million followers. I can't.
It's got to be an obnoxious
You're upsetting
dinner.
me.
Just the most obnoxious dinner.
Dan is the single worst person I've ever been to a restaurant with.
I've been to a few restaurants with him, but I can imagine. Just the worst.
You have to cater to what his dietary requests are. Nothing can come as is, and you don't even know if the right menu. So basically, you just give in and say, you choose the restaurant, and then he'll choose it and then be 20 minutes
Can
late.
I get no garlic?
Was this cooked in air? Was there air around this food?
Sorry.
Is there food in this food?
I don't mean to go after you, but man, it really got to me the last meal we had. Is I was just sitting there like wondering, can I just get my spicy tuna roll, please, while they're finagling what they're doing and returning everything they don't want? Can I just get my
I don't
food?
return anything. I never return
You just don't eat it
anything.
and then order a different thing.
I never return anything. I will not send something back to the kitchen.
We just turn to the waiter and say, "This was bad. Wear that."
Can I get some gluten-free fries on that salad, please?
I go to management and have them fired, so I never have to see them again.
What is gluten-free mayo, by the way?
Thank you.
And who would expect to have
Thank you,
that?
David.
I think mayo is actually gluten-free under all
whatever.
circumstances.
There is no gluten
You
in
knew
mayo.
the point, Dan.
We think.
Pretty sure, actually.
And the reason this all came up, Dan, is that I was going to review a movie about this very thing. And this is what set me off because I watched this yesterday, this new documentary on Netflix called The Crash. And it is about a influencer who murdered her boyfriend and a different guy in a car crash in Ohio. And I had never heard
Hold on
of
a
this
second.
story.
Hold on. Murder, what happened was, just to be clear, because I saw the documentary too, and it was also good, but it was confusing to me how it is that she ran into a school building at 100 miles an hour and the people in her car died. I just didn't really understand how it is that she never hit the brakes or how it is that the physics of that accident happened, that she was going that fast. But continue, please. I'm sorry I interrupted you. I just wanted to put that clarity in there.
That's the crime, though. That's why she got convicted, because she drove a car into a wall. Now, if you want to murder your boyfriend and somebody else, I can tell you I can't think that driving a car into a wall makes sense. She was able to survive, and there's no way that this 17-year-old girl was able to formulate a plan using physics and calculate and game it out to say, if I crash at this speed, at this angle, they'll croak, and I'm only going to have a few broken bones, be in the hospital, and then I'll be fine. And the result is she's in prison, spoiler alert. But what struck me about the documentary is what these kids are doing in high school and how far removed I am from having that level of either being in touch with it or how jealous I am. And I'll admit it. These two girls, her and her friend, do ridiculous stuff on TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram about looking at outfits, etc. And she's got more YouTube subscribers than you, me, and Pablo. How is that possible is what I was thinking while watching this. And then I got the last laugh thinking to myself, yeah, but she's in prison now for at least 15 years and hopefully life. But I don't want to have to go to that in order to make myself feel better.
That's what you got out of the documentary there, David?
That's it, Roy. What I got out of it is I can't imagine she chose to murder with a car crash. I can't believe how many YouTube subscribers she and her friend have. And I cannot for the life of me believe that she went with a bench trial and not a jury trial. Because that is a right that you have to just be tried in front of a judge without a jury. You can waive your right to a jury trial. because she thought, and her lawyer thought, that she was so unlikable. I think her best chance was to be cute and to be like, oh, murder? I can't even figure out what I'm wearing on a Wednesday afternoon. I just opened clothes from Amazon. Like, I figured that I couldn't believe it that she waived a jury trial.
You do a very poor impersonation of a 17-year-old girl.
I'm thankful for that.
What is the review? Did you like the movie? You're talking about the meat of the movie, but did you think the movie was worth watching?
No, it makes me feel terribly. I don't know. I do not think it's worth it for anyone other than that you should just know that if this is really what your kid is doing or what you're doing as a high schooler, I think you should maybe think about a different path. But there's a lot better documentaries out there. I agree it's ranked #1. That's how I found it. It was the #1 ranked documentary. I had no idea what it was about, hadn't heard of it. Spoiler alert, didn't know it ended with a conviction. So I watched it, and it was, whatever, 94 minutes, and I'm fine, but it made me feel terribly.
Thank you, David. So we begin with David saying he was dead inside, and now he feels terribly. If you want more David Samson and some more uplifting stuff, Pitch Clock is coming up later.
It will be
show.
uplifting. I'll be there too.
It is David Samson and Jeremy Taché. Nothing personal. Chris Cody. Thank you, David. Nice seeing you. Thank you for the time. Speaking of which, he mentioned YouTube subscribers here a moment ago, and South Beach Sessions. This is long overdue. South Beach Sessions now has its own channel, and I am requesting that the listeners of this audience support the work that we're doing around here by subscribing to the new South Beach Sessions YouTube channel. Today's interview is with Tony Hawk. I really enjoyed talking to him for a number of reasons, including that I was almost privy to the delight of having him skateboard to the studio, because he always has his skateboard on him. And we talked about, I don't know whether you guys think about this at all, but
about how he has a brother named Mike all the time.
No, we talked about how
my first question.
Injured he has gotten over the years. Let's hear that clip today from South Beach Sessions. Can you take me through your body on a journey of the things that you have harmed or have needed surgery? Like if you were to do it from the bottom of your feet to your head?
Sure. Well, okay, starting at my feet, I've definitely rolled both my ankles to such severity that they are almost too loose for safety purposes. I thought I broke it once when I was on tour in France. I mean, I rolled it so far, I just figured, I broke my ankle for sure. And luckily, I didn't. I don't really know if that's luck or not. My shins are a disaster. They're just countless stitches.
Mm-hmm.
I've had knee surgery, 2 knee surgeries on both knees, mostly for torn cartilage and torn ligaments. I broke my femur. I broke my pelvis. I recently fractured part of my pelvis, actually. I mean, you might have saw me kind of limping in here. That's getting better, though. Let's see. Where do I go from there? I broke my elbow. I've dislocated my fingers. I've gotten stitches on both eyebrows several times. Had a few concussions, and knocked out my front teeth 5 times.
He forgot a bunch of them, too, because over the course of the interview, he started mentioning and remembering other ones.
His name is Mike.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Did you know that Tony Hawk's name was Mike?
No. He has a brother. It's his brother. He has a brother whose name is Mike.
Michael Hawk.
Put it on the poll. Did you know that Tony Hawk's name was Mike? At Le Batard Show. And please subscribe to South Beach Sessions. We've got a bunch of them coming out over the next few months that I really enjoyed doing while we were in California. Got to spend a lot of time with comedians because I heard your criticism, audience, on how bad I've been over the years at interviewing comedians. So I've begun practicing. Mm-hmm. That's what I got very good at with Tony Hawk. He's showing me that if you want access to my actual inner monologue, I'll give it to you here.
Mm-hmm.
That sound is me camouflaging. We don't have enough cameras in here to see how blue his shins are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just me. Like,
you did get like a little look over though.
Hey, you're like,
you were like,
Also, thinking of the audio audience.
Mm-hmm. His shins are blue.
Mm-hmm.
They've got so much damage on them that's not a human color, but you couldn't really see it because we didn't have enough camera work in that studio to execute it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all you got in terms of getting deep inside the intimacy of introspection with Mike Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
The brother of Michael Hawk.
A couple of corrections from earlier in the show. I said that PBS had done, or did I say that NPR?
You said NPR. No, this is going well.
I said that NPR had done the reporting on concussions, and it was PBS. And I described, I don't want to get aggregated on this, I described the conversation with Skipper about the mortgages and stuff as one of the biggest fights we had. I'm going to call it a disagreement. It was something that we were having, we weren't aligned on. It wasn't.
I do believe I can concur that.
Is that how it works? That if you just say I don't want to get aggregated, you don't get aggregated?
You messed up saying that.
And if they do aggregate it, they'll pull in that context.
Yeah, they always do.
That's not how it works, but I'm only interested in how it is our audience receives it. I don't care what anyone else does with it, so it doesn't much matter after that. But I just wanted to get the facts right on that subject. I want to talk about the Stephen Colbert stuff, but we do not have time inside of this segment, so we'll start the next hour on the Stephen Colbert stuff because I do want to celebrate something that is ending tonight and makes me sad that it's ending, and it's not necessarily the show, it's the time that is making me sad, and it's the roots of it because they really did it. That show introduced me to stand-up comedy. I had not known that it was something that existed, not Colbert, but as the Letterman show, the first time I ever saw Letterman. So I want to get into that next.